So I'm talking a little bit now about Paul Joseph Watson. Paul is a member of the Infowars team. He describes himself as a contrarian polemicist, but really what he is he's just basically a promoter of Donald Trump and the general anti-globalist, pro-nationalist Infowars line of rhetoric. So he's always posting about Muslims doing this or that, Muslim refugees. He's terrified of these. He peddles the fear of Muslims. No, I'm no fan of Muslims or Islam, but this guy goes overboard. It's like half of what he's posts is some random piece of news about a refugee doing one thing or another, as if this is the single greatest problem with Western civilization right now, is that there's a few piece of shit refugees that are doing stupid things. He loves defending Donald Trump. Any criticism of Donald Trump, Paul pretends is
because Trump spoke to the democratically elected leader of Taiwan, and this might upset the dictatorship of China. Let that sink in.
Well, I mean, the issue here isn't so much that it's a democratically elected leader of Taiwan versus a dictator of China. It's that the U.S. has a much stronger vested interest in working with China than we do in working with Taiwan at this point. And Trump, being the future president, should really follow a sensible protocol in going about these types of things. So as you can see here, he's been on this streak about defending Trump against the Taiwan things. And I'm sure the major media is making more of a mountain out of this little molehill than it really is, but I digress. And here he is whining because someone sent him a tweet or a message or something. He whines a lot. He's one of the major promulgators of the Daddy Trump phenomenon, where anything is viewed as an attack and something that he needs to whine about and cry about. You can see here he's defending Trump about the Muslims in New Jersey comment. A really old thing. Of course, Paul had to bring this up again. It's really absurd. Here's something he's complaining. A little bit different. Something about vegans, fiber, animal fats, whatever. I'm not even sure what that story implies at this point. But Paul Watson is just basically, he's a terrified individual. He's basically peddles this ridiculous fear about globalization, the typical Infowars bullshit. And here he is complaining again, whining about something the CBC did, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, about a racist video about the extinction of white people. So he blows things out of proportion. It's probably just some stupid PC bullshit that the CBC put out. Probably some interns or some producer within the CBC made some stupid video about equality or something, and Paul acts like this is the beginning of the decline of Western civilization. Here he is. He's basically pimping some Infowars here. Yahoo News columnist wants schools to indoctrinate kids to trust mainstream media. Typical Alex Jones Infowars, blowing things out of proportion and Paul peddling it. Dems deliberately stalling Wisconsin recount to steal electoral votes from Trump. Well, a recount isn't really stealing votes, Paulie. A recount is simply just recounting the votes that were already cast. So I don't see how this is some kind of major issue that you need to be overly concerned with and promote as some tremendous grievance against King Daddy Trump. But it's just typical. If you watch this guy's videos enough, this is all he does. He just promotes bullshit. Oh, and not surprisingly down here I saw he's promoting what was to blame for the terror attack at Ohio State University. ISIS, Islam? No. Racist America. Blah, 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 blah. So basically this video I saw, I think it was either Infowars or Mark Dice, went to Ohio State, questioned a bunch of people. Obviously, selective editing was going on. They only put on the people who had kind of a half-assed answer, refusing to say it was terrorism. The ridiculous thing there is, first of all, the word terrorism is essentially meaningless. And second of all, go to a college. You're going to find sensitive lefty types who aren't going to want to, use, beat over the head hammer type language. However, go to like a Ohio State tailgating party or go to a frat party on a Friday night, and I guarantee you're going to hear different language. So they're blowing things out of proportion with selective editing. This is the kind of shit that Paul and Infowars and all these whiners do. They just cry and whine and complain about bullshit. And their followers eat it up because basically the mentality of these people is scared little children. They're scared of everything. They're terrified.